Hi, I'm Madeline Ryan, and I'm a diverse person of design.
Perfect. Okay. So, welcome to the DPODcast. I'm really excited. You're technically the first one where it was originally, or now it's intended to be a podcast. So, this is pretty exciting. And yeah, how are you today? Are you feeling good?
Yeah, I am. Thanks.
Sweet. What have you been up to this fine quarantine day?
I went for a run this morning, and we made pancakes and had so my roommate Bree and I we had a couple of people over, just Ben and his roommates. So yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome. Oh, I need me some pancakes. Well, I hope you're ready to talk big, Maddie. My very first official question for you is, who are you?
That is a good question. I'm a woman. I'm an artist. I am a uh, creative. I'm a believer. I don't know. I'm a lot of things, I guess. I'm diverse.
That's awesome. Yeah. And what are your pronouns?
She, her, hers.
Very cool. And you already started listing them off, but what are some of your identities that you are most salient with?
For sure, I'm white. Let's see. What is that thing? I'm a
Heterosexual?
yeah, I'm a heterosexual. I don't know. I'm a graphic designer. I'm a college student, soon to be a young adult in the real world. And yep, whoop whoop. I'm Irish, and um, I don't know. I feel like that qualifies a lot of the things I believe in. I don't know. Yeah. And classify myself in.
That's cool. Do you think that any of those specific identities influence your work at all?
Yes, I do. Yeah, just my experiences and the way that the world looks at me. I feel like that influences what I create.
Yeah. I'd love for you to tell me about one of your current projects, and specifically one, since you said that your identities do influence your design. I'm really curious if there's one in particular or how you think it influences your work.
Yeah. So for senior year, which you all know, we have, well, I don't know if everyone knows this, but a lot of seniors have like final projects. And for our capstone studio, we can basically do whatever we want. And yeah, people just have the free reign to create what they want, what's inspiring to them. And for me, just being a woman in a culture where it tells you to be a certain way. I wanted to do something with social media and with body image. So my project is called The Gift, and I created a campaign called #BeautyMark. And so I've just been using my personal handle at Madeline Ryan, if anyone wants to look me up. And I've been just highlighting women, or I'm just touching on topics where I can inspire and just spread truth that women are gifts. And I came up with that analogy because think of it as like a white elephant kind of thing. So when you show up to a party, you bring something and you hope that someone in the group would like it. And let's say, like, put yourself in the scenario that you're that gift and you put like time and energy into wrapping it and everything. And then, like, someone picks your gift, you're super excited, and then it's rejected. And it's like, oh, great. So then it's being passed person to person, like, I don't want this gift, I don't want this. And then, like, that sticks with people. Like, when people like unwrap you and like see your true self and like reject you in that instant, um like you take it personally, and for me, like you wrap layers and layers of wrapping paper over yourself, like hiding. But this project is like encouraging that you are a gift, you're intentionally made, and it doesn't matter. Like everyone's rejected in different ways, and like we're not created to look a certain way or try to like inspire everyone. Like that's not our purpose. Our purpose is to be who we are. And if someone doesn't like you, it's okay. You were made to be uniquely you. So that's basically the whole point.
That's so cool. I really enjoy your work that you're doing on the gift. I think that it's really important, especially with the amount of social media that people are consuming, that we find ways to celebrate everybody, which is why the Diverse People of Design podcast exists, why the project itself exists, and why I wanted to have you here today. So I'm really excited for you to share even more about it as we continue. But thanks so much for the overview. I think what you're doing is super cool. I haven't done Beauty Mark yet, hashtag Beauty Mark, but I'm going to eventually once I get some photos. Also, I just think that everyone should go follow at MaDelineoRyan. Yep.
Yep.
So, do you feel treated differently from others based on any particular identity?
I feel like a really common answer would be being a woman in different environments with a majority being male. I feel like I'm honestly, the place that I'm at, I feel comfortable because a lot of people are similar to me. But maybe being a designer though, Iowa State, yes, has like a design school, but it also like has a lot of ag majors or engineers, people in mathematical or scientific fields. So I guess that's a time when I feel a little different and can't relate.
I completely agree. I remember distinctly being in a room when I was working on campus, being in a room filled with other STEM majors. All of them were some form of science or engineering or very heavily objective left brain fields, right? And I remember trying to explain to them the definition of brainstorming, and it was one of the most difficult discussions. It turned way too heated for what it was, but I specifically remember that they just approached the idea of brainstorming completely differently than I did. In the college design, it's very, very common for us to consider brainstorming meaning list every idea. It means think about any possibility that could exist that could, in theory, solve the problem. Sometimes we call it a wicked problem, depending on the situation. But I just remember thinking that it was so frustrating to like try to communicate to someone who is learning completely differently than I am. And in going to a school, both of us going to a school where we are the minority on campus, we are the smallest college. I think student government had to rewrite its bylaws so that way any college could at least get one representative on student government, because College of Design is not big enough. So it's really difficult to...
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so it's really difficult to be in a position where we have to constantly explain ourselves. I think that, I feel like there's a lot of learning that we have to do over the course of our 4 years to learn how to communicate effectively, which is great because we as graphic designers, we're visual communicators. We care about when we're trying to explain something, at least for me now, I don't know about you, but for me now, I have to draw it. I have to show someone exactly what's in my brain because I know that there's just so many ways that people can see and understand things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Definitely. Have you had that kind of experience?
Yeah, definitely. It's like we are exposed to different things in design, and we have like a completely different language, honestly. You're talking about design principles or just anything like typefaces or like a lot of people get that, but if this is just my idea kind of thing and they're like completely lost and it's like, why are you even talking about this? I don't know. It's weird because being like a creative, there's I don't know, it's hard to be respected sometimes for what we're doing, especially since like, oh, you need to be in a field that like makes a lot of money or is in industry. There's lack of respect, I think, for sure.
Yeah, and the wrap up the idea of the story I was saying was I just remember vividly the STEM majors being like, why would we say the ideas that we know already won't work? And that was a difficult thing for me to hear because I know from personal experience that sometimes it's the really bad ideas that spark a better idea in somebody else. And so that's why I just am such an advocate for clear communication, for better communication between designers and engineers, between designers in other fields in general, because we have to work with each other in the real world anyways. And I really think that it should start in college.
Totally. Yeah, it's like a boundary almost that they have to break. Like we want to like find better ways to do things or like be I don't know, just like each generation should have like new ideas and we have to talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
brainstorm together.
Yeah. So, what do you think are some of your strengths and weaknesses in design?
My strength is illustration. Weaknesses is seeking approval from and like asking kind of the wrong questions if or if I receive feedback, I just like take it to heart. Yeah, just something I definitely want to change because when you're being critiqued, like you need to look at it in a way that this is going to help me improve my design. It's not something that I should take personally.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think that a lot of what we have to learn as designers is how to separate ourselves from our work, but also pour ourselves into our work. So it's a definitely weird balance and knowing where those lines are. So have you ever had like a really, like, what was your hardest critique?
There's been a lot. No, this year has been pretty good. I feel like I've been able to separate myself from my work and stuff. Probably more junior year when I was like feeling more comfortable in the fields, or like learning the programs. And I think I can remember just maybe like Eden or something, like just stuff like that where you are in your head for a long time, like creating a project and it's just interpreted differently. Or maybe like my Brooks shoe project. Like I had worked like super long on like the illustration side, but not the like functionality, I guess. So I was like um I guess like questioned for my focus or like why I didn't pour into this area as much as another. And yeah, I took it to heart a little bit, but now like looking back at all those projects, I just see that like obviously I poured more into the illustration area because that's what I enjoyed. Yeah.
For those of you wondering what Eden and Brookside shoes?
Oh, Brooks shoes.
Brooks shoes. I really enjoyed Eden. I thought Eden was one of your coolest projects ever, and it is pretty much a well-designed, I don't know if you'd call it sustainable, but it's just beautiful packaging for women's products. And the fact that women's hygienic products, so tampons. And I just remember that you had packaging for all different sizes, and you had the multiple kind package, the variant. What is it? How do you word that? The various pack, where it was all of the sizes,
yeah.
which is so true because they don't sell that.
Sometimes you don't know what you want.
Literally, like at the beginning of your week, you have the heaviest flow ever, and at the end you're totally just spotting. So I just don't understand why they don't sell more multi-packs like that. Anyways, I digress. I enjoyed Eden. If you guys want to look it up, it's really beautifully illustrated, beautifully packaged tampons.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that you got a business there if you ever wanted to do
it. That would be cool.
Yeah. So what is your general process? You've mentioned that you really like illustrating, and I know that from knowing you for a while now, but how do you start? Where do you find your inspiration? Yeah.
I feel like the normal thing to do for us designers is to go on Pinterest, but I try to challenge that. I try to like find a sort of like artist that I'm really inspired by, or an artist that has done a topic that I'm like focusing on. Usually I just like follow them on Instagram and just look at their work, or and then do some research on the topic just so I'm not ill-informed. And I just like immerse myself into that culture of the design. So like for the gift, I researched as many cultures as I possibly could, and just saw like how they express mark making, or like so some tribes they cut into skin. Sometimes it's for healing purposes. So if they have like I am like falling short of like what diseases, but they'll cut into their skin and put oils or herbs into their cheeks, and it's just like a faster way for them to process medication, and then that's like seen as a victory mark. And then there's like beauty marks, so women of many tribes and cultures, they'll do cuts into their skin, and it's just beautiful. Like it's a mark, it's a language. And I just tried to research as much as I could Native American cultures, like tattoos, like westernized tattoos and stuff. And then that just like helped me see what has already been done, so I am aware and I don't misinterpret or make a wrong assumption in my designs. I just want to be like aware of that, and then I can be inspired. So that's where I usually start.
That's cool. Have you also incorporated Pacific Islander cultures into your project?
Yes.
That's so cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're just talking about tattoos, and I think about how Pacific Islanders just have so many, and they're very traditional, a lot of meaning behind them. Yeah. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing your process. I think that that's amazing. I love that you challenge definitely the norm of just going on to Pinterest. I still find myself going to Pinterest sometimes, but that's another story.
Yes, I definitely like to make boards too, just so you can get like other, like there's literally anything on there that you can think of. So it's nice to visualize it as well and have it on a board.
Yeah. So what are your goals at the moment? Long term, short term?
Definitely, well, graduating is great. I'm so excited to be done with school. It's going to be great.
Nice. Yeah.
So once I have that checked off, due to the coronavirus situation, I'm going to be going home for a month. I'm going to go to Seattle for a month with a friend and staying with her parents and just having some time. Our goals are each to like freelance on our own during that time. Yeah, I've had some experience, but I mean, I'm going to be I think it's going to be more motivation, like needing that income. So just like pushing harder and going through websites. It's almost like an agency kind of thing where you can like put your name out there and be like, hey, I'm a designer, I'm a freelancer, if you need something, here you go. It's like better than Etsy, but kind of, it's just more like freelance focused. I'm gonna do that, and then once like stuff starts opening up, my goal is to like stay out west and just get into immerse myself in the industry. Maybe Portland, Seattle, or San Francisco is my areas, and I would love to get into the movie industry, storyboarding, character design, stuff like that. So that's kind of great for the gift because I'm really getting into character design. So that's a fun way to do that. And then with graphic design, I've gotten like a minor in illustration too. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love how you're pursuing freelance. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, it's a hard market for sure. But it's so worth it when you can have work, and I've honestly gotten some through the gift project, which is just amazing because people can find you and say, "Hey, like I love your style. Can you create something for me?" And it's just so wonderful. And right now, it's really easy to do freelance for weddings or stuff like that, like invites. And a lot of people need illustrators, which is really, really cool. Oh,
And
yeah,
it's,
I'm also making a music video for Novo Amor. So
wait, what?
that's really sweet. Yes, hit up Novo Amor. He's amazing.
What kind of music is he doing? Like, what's your video
He's
idea?
indie.
Mm,
Yeah, very, very nice vibes. And I'm doing the song Carry You.
that's awesome. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
But going back to one of our old questions, is there a particular moment that made you realize an identity you hold?
I guess thinking about it in a different way, I would say like being a creative and an identity of pride almost, and not wanting others to critique me um if like I don't see, like I feel like a lot of identities could be based on like areas that we've developed pride in or seen praise, and in that being in a family of all like engineers and really like sportsy people, I was praised as being an artist. And coming into college, it was kind of a different thing, so I took that identity of being a creative and being loved and valued. And I mean, reality hits us all when we come to college that we're not the best in the room. We're with like a bunch of people in the same place as us, same boat, same interests. Reality hits us hard that we're not like the only ones. And I remember like in probably like freshman year, it kind of hit me that there were so many people better than me at drawing, and like that hurt, like you're like, dang it, like
Mm-hmm.
I thought
Yeah.
I was good and now I suck compared to these people. And it just like really motivates you um to just like later on in college, and especially this year, I've realized that it was great to like see those other creatives, but now I think of them as like almost like coworkers, or like I'm inspired by them, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be them. I
Yeah.
want to be influenced and I want to create alongside of them, but it's taken me a long time to figure out that I can't compare my designs to theirs. I can be inspired and love what they're doing, but I'm never going to be them.
Mm-hmm.
And like that would be boring. Like they're already creating stuff in their style, so something as designers that we can all like look forward to is that we're all unique and we all have our own style, and there's so many other people that are creating, and there's so many like applications that we can look on and tag and save and create, as Chuck Richards would say, morgues of all of our artists that we're inspired by. But the real thing that can push us is to create our own way and our own vision. So identity for me is like being a creative, being an artist. And it's changed like over time for sure how I look at that, but now I think I'm seeing it in a better light, and it's motivating me, not dragging me down or pushing me in a bad way to like be like someone. But now I am trying to strengthen who I am and improve in my designs, I guess.
My first instinct is to reaffirm how, even though we may have the same general ideas of how we want our life to go, everyone's goals are very different, or what those goals actually look like or pan out like. All of it is very different. You know, you, me, your friend, we all want to be freelancers for now just because of the job market. But what we want to freelance in particular might be different, or the way that we go about the process of how we create, it's all different. And so that's where I think that we can change competition and comparison into support and inspiration.
Yeah.
It's
cool.
Yeah. Is there any other thoughts you had about the gift? Any other things that you wanted to share, or identities that you have that played into the gift?
I guess, like I mentioned earlier, comparison has always been a huge thing for me. Body image for sure. I've struggled with an eating disorder and conquered that. And that's what's really motivated me to create a positive body image campaign. And it's more than body image, because like our bodies are a temple. It's something that we should respect, but it's also like who we are within, and we should take care of our spirit and all that. So yeah.
That's awesome, Maddie.
Thanks.
Yeah. So those are all my questions I have. Thanks everybody for listening. Thank you, Madeline Ryan, for joining me today on the DPODcast. If you guys have any questions, please reach out. If you're curious about learning more about diverse people of design, don't forget to check out our SoundCloud for our other podcast. It's / diverse people of design, or we got Instagram, diverse people of design, or diverse pod on Twitter and Facebook. And lastly, if you love us and you'd like to support us on Patreon, you can also find us there. So all in all, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.